What's going on? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, the daily episode. And Bobby's joining me once again on the daily. He's back in his studio, though,
What
back
it
home. What's
is.
going on,
You
Bobby?
feel me? What up, bro? Feel good to get home. Got home early as hell, 1 a.m. from Chicago.
Absolutely.
Dang.
Absolutely, man. How was your Father's Day?
It was pretty good. What about you?
It was good. It was straight, man. I can't it was one of the better Father's Day. I won't even lie, bro.
Man, I was driving the whole day, but it's okay because now I'm back at home.
You've been
It's
doing a
good.
lot of traveling lately, bro. But anyway, on
Yeah,
today's
for
episode,
real.
we're going to talk about Brisker and some of his comments. We're also going to talk about Braxton Jones and is he the future of the Bears offensive line? And then we'll also be getting into some things about Matt Eberflus. We'll get into all that and more in today's Chicago Bears Central.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
All right, fam. So, bro, man, listen, Brisker, I, he has, to me, we'll talk about his exact comments so far, but does he not have the feel a little bit of a player who may be the leader of a defense at some point in time?
For real, at one point, he definitely gonna be that guy back there. At one
Yeah.
point, it's
He
coming.
just it's everything about him and Gordon for a while, and we'll get into little things with Kyler Gordon, and he may have some injury concerns that we may need to talk about. But first, Brisk, I'm just gonna read this comment, man, and this just gives me great feelings as being a member of a Bears defense.
You feel
He
me?
says that's a standard around here. So creating turnovers is what we do, and that was also in my DNA. I feel like I attack the ball. Whether that's forcing a fumble or whether that's going for an interception. So I love being around the football and obviously getting back for offense. Listen, man. Come on, bro. Some of the best Bears defenses, best Bears teams were built around that exact mindset.
Hell yeah. And that's the type of players you want to bring in. You want to bring in players that want to go get after somebody else's offense. You don't want to lay down for nobody. And if you're going to talk it, you definitely got to walk it. So, hey, let's get out there and do something big, my boy. Let's get out there and do something big. For real.
Yeah, man. I mean, and then it's crazy to think how far I've come with both him and Gordon, considering like initially I'm like, man, what are the
Oh,
Bears
yeah.
thinking
What the
drafting
hell
these
we
guys,
doing? You know
man?
what I'm saying?
Yeah, but like everything, like of course they still have to show it on the field. That's what it all boils down to. But like as of right now, what you want to hear are good things from the coaching staff, his understanding of the game, even him saying things like he needs to be playing lower and cleaning up my eyes and putting it all together, things like that, and challenging himself. And then we know what Gordon's been saying as well, like it's just a good feeling around these two players. And while, yeah, would we have liked to see the Bears at least coming in, get a wide receiver? It's just good to see that. And I'll get back into this topic a little bit when we talk about former Bears that we would like to see come and talk to the team, because I'll have a little mindset there that I want to go over. But one thing that I didn't put on the list, is it concerning you at all about Kyler Gordon and his injury, the fact that he wasn't able to practice at all during minicamp? There's some type of injury going on. There were some rumors that maybe it was a contract thing, but no, it seems like there's an injury. We're far away from the season starting and all, but does that worry you at all?
Uh, just a little bit. If we was going on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd just give it maybe about a 4. You know what I'm saying? Just simply,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? It's mini camp. You definitely guys gonna go through injuries and stuff like that. And one other guy who was injured was the offensive lineman Dakota Dozier. It's hard to say them names, boy, they be tripping. But look, is you just gotta wait to see what happens. Maybe he get some time off and then do some treatment, come back and be ready for training camp, rocking and rolling. We just gotta wait and see.
That's all you can hope for. But another rookie that it seems like everybody's pretty high on, that's been practicing with the first team since OTAs, Braxton Jones, bro. I don't know if you got a chance to see his press conference, him talking to people. There's a bit of a poise that he has as well, but it seems like, listen, a 5th-round pick is maybe our starting offensive tackle over there, bro. What do you think about him being the starter at left tackle?
Hey, if anything's possible, especially with all the question marks with Tevin Jenkins and even Borum. We said this even when we first started, giving the content to the people. We don't know. But the good thing is that these guys are doing their due diligence to put the best players in the best position. And one thing I got to give credit on with Eberflus and Ryan Pogues. From these comments that these young guys are saying, it seemed like these guys in the interview wanted to look at who the hell was going to work hard and who was willing to earn their damn spot. And from Braxton Jones, Brisker, even Valus Jones. Like, come
Yeah.
on, man. These guys, they all speaking stuff. They saying they want to work hard and they coming out. They getting some good news. You know what I'm saying? Like we always say, they got to duplicate all that stuff on the field. But man, the comments is not like nothing too flashy, but it's definitely I want to get my hard hat on. I want to go to work. Let's get it done.
What do you think about the fact that like Eberflus, whereas Matt Nagy before him was seemingly kind of hesitant to start young players or to really throw them out there, whereas Eberflus, it seems like he's really building him and Getty are really building up the confidence in these young players because when we look at it now, there's a high possibility we could, but on the defensive and offensive end, we can have about 3 or 4 rookies starting.
Man, I think it speaks volumes to this coaching staff because Eberflus even brought it up in some of his comments this past week, saying that his young guys, when he was with Indianapolis, they excelled in his system. So he has a belief in his system. And in my personal opinion, the way you get better is by player development. That's how you build championship teams. If we go into our Chicago Bulls, one thing that hurt us the most is because Tom Thibodeau didn't want to play the damn young guys. He depended on his vets, and that's rightfully so. But in the long run, all it told during the entire season had our guys gassed when it was time to make a nice run. So if you trust in your young guys, you can build a solid team. It's not just one player. This is a 53-man roster. So if you put the best talent in the best position, you got to do what's best for the team and not what's best for you.
Yeah, and I mean, especially when you get a team that's we're not competing for anything this season. Yeah, we want to get as most wins as possible. That goes without saying. You always want to win as many games as possible, but just being realistic, we're not really competing for anything this season. Maybe the outside chance of a playoff spot, but you're doing so much for your future if you build in confidence in these young guys right away. You know, them starting, them getting snaps, them getting repetitions, and them showing you, like, as long as they're showing you in practice that they want to go out and get it, right? And that's from everything that we hear from most of these rookies, that they're trying to go out and carve out their spot. They're not afraid, things like that. And it's, you know, that's how you build, you know, for the future, right? Because if any of these offensive lineman rookies, even if we talked about it last week, there were 3 that have been practicing with the starting lineup. Even if 1-2 of them end up in the starting lineup and end up being a piece that you can build that offensive line around, that saves you some money next season. You know, we talked so much about the cap next season. If you don't have to go after veterans and you spend this season really developing that offensive line, and by the end of it, not everybody's going to hit unless we're super lucky. But if even a couple of those guys hit, you've saved yourself a hell of a amount of money at that point.
Yeah, because just for an example, look at the Dallas Cowboys. Don't really like talking about the Cowgirls, but they had a good example of offensive linemen that they brought in through the draft, and that offensive line was one of the best offensive linemen for a few years. And then they got, you know what I'm saying, a couple Pro Bowlers here and now on each position. You never know what you can get out of these guys, but the good thing is that the coaching staff is challenging these guys like, yo, Tevin Jenkins, we not liking what we seeing, so let me put Braxton up in there. Hey, Borm, you might be moved to this spot if we feel like you can be better here for us. They not being complacent, and that's the good sign.
Absolutely. Let's get into the next topic today. Matt Eberflus talked to Albert Breer. This is on the Monday Morning Quarterback, that he has reached out to over 30 Bears players, former Bears players, to come in and talk to the team, man. His exact quote: those guys, they laid the foundation for how to play, how the Bears should play. Listen, man, I love you. I hope this isn't just the first season positivity, right? And then like 2-3 years down the road, we're like, hey, man, let's get this Eberflus guy up out of here. But almost everything that he says is the right thing, but he's backing it up, reaching out to former Bears players, especially ones that have been on some of those tested playoff teams, have been on those really good teams, to come in and inspire, especially a young team. This is a very young Bears team. Could really help. I'm not saying that it's going to like make anybody go to all of a sudden playing at a higher level, but like as far as motivating, as far as linking things back to the good parts about the Bears culture, that's all positivity, man.
Man, definitely all positivity. I love it simply because, as you mentioned, these are the guys that made the way for these new players. Like Roquan Smith, you got great linebackers that's going to come in. Lance Briggs, Brian Urlacher. And then for the defensive back, the young guys like Calais Gordon, Jaquan Brisker, you can look up to Peanut Tillman. Come on, man. The guy is up there in forced fumbles with defensive linemen. You can learn from this guy because Jaquan Brisker, he played, you know what I'm saying, in the box a lot when he was with Penn State. So it's good. And me, I'm a young guy with an old soul. It's never too much you can learn from the people that came before you, because some people like to run from the knowledge. but it's others that that pull towards the knowledge.
Speak,
If you pull
bro.
towards the
Speak on it.
knowledge, hey, something happened to me in Chicago. I don't want to put the story out there, but a lot of young people, they don't like to listen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when people come drop that knowledge, some of that stuff can be useful. So good on Eberflus, man. Keep it up, because you definitely want to build that foundation for the players that's here now, and for the ones that's in the future. Be like, damn, I want to play for the Chicago Bears because they treat their people well.
Yeah. And so one of the things that we want to do before, because this is the last topic today, before we go, I wanted to ask you, and we could talk about some former Bears players that we would like to come in and help mentor and shape this team with Eberflus coming in. I have an interesting way that I went with it, but if you want to go first, you can. What do you want to do?
First of all, my number one player, Olin Cruz. Bring him back. He stuck grown man in lockers. But all jokes aside, I want him. No, honestly, I want him. Why?
Okay.
Because if you get a nasty offensive line, and you tell them anytime somebody dirty hit Jay Fields, anytime a Green Bay Packer come up here and tell me they own us, y'all take that shit to the heart and y'all got to go crazy. And then another player, man, I just got to go with the quarterback that was on the defensive side. Bring Brian Urlacher up in that, man. Definitely just to help see what he did so he can lead these defenses that were spectacular, and even had a defense that went on a damn run in 2006. So bring those two guys in first. In my personal opinion, I believe Brian Urlacher actually did just speak to them not too long ago. So those are my two picks. They're the first two people I like to see walk in.
I like the Olin Cruz one a lot, and my brain didn't even go there, because like when you look at, especially when you look like we just talked about Braxton, right? And then other than that, 3 offensive linemen that have been practicing with the first. I don't even care about the rest of the offense. If you bring in those 3 rookies and say, listen, we got 3 days with you, you're gonna watch Olin Cruz tape, and he gonna sit down and talk to y'all. That could completely change the mindset of some players. Because Olin, listen, man, Olin's a dangerous dude. Stuffing grown men in lockers, and Olin Cruz got to be like 44 at this point.
You feel me? Come on, man.
Come on, bro. But this is the way that I went with it. I looked at this specifically on how it affects 2 players, right? And 2 players that could factor heavily into the Bears' plans this season. So the first one I'm bringing up, and this is one completely outside the box, is Johnny Knox. And the reason why I say that, Johnny Knox,
that's a great pick.
A fifth round pick, the 140th overall pick, who earned his spot. Yes, we know, played 3 seasons. It was tragic how it ended. But if you look at Velus Jones and you look at Johnny Knox, they are almost the same exact body type.
Damn, didn't even think of that. That's a great pick, bro.
If you compare Velus Jones with Johnny Knox, just to talk about the mindset of being, coming in, having to earn your spot as being a wide receiver, the fact that the way that Johnny Knox rose up to becoming probably one of the best wide receivers on the Bears roster at that point in time. Yeah, it sucks how it went, but look at his yards, bro. And he never was he was not the number 1 wide receiver or anything like that, but he was targeted. He earned a spot. I love the idea of having Johnny Knox come in and talk to Velus Jones Jr. and Darnell Mooney for that much. But really, I think him and Velus Jones, there's a lot of overlap there that could go very, very well.
Man, that was a great pick, bro. Because I was a huge fan of him, because he used to ball out, bro. He definitely used to ball out. Sure. That was definitely solid pick, man. Solid
and
pick.
Then another one,
they need that.
Yeah, they definitely. And then another one that I'm looking at, Peanut Tillman's already come in and talked to players and things like that. But I'm looking at somebody who came in and stepped up while Peanut Tillman was injured at a point and was a hell of a wide receiver. I mean, a cornerback himself. That's Nathan Vasher. To come in and talk to Kyler Gordon, bro. And the secondary as a whole, bro. When you look at Vasher and what his and if you notice, both these players are players that came in and had to earn their spot fully and became damn good players in their own right. Vasher, people didn't expect, they looked at him as a really good quarterback, but he came in and eventually became the top cornerback. Like I said, when Tillman was sidelined with injury there for a little while, I really like the idea of pairing him with this Bears secondary and Brisker and Gordon for that matter, even though it's more so a Gordon type thing. Just having Gordon really sit there under Nathan Vasher, bro, I think would be a huge thing for him.
I think that's solid, bro, because that's that's a great pick, because if you look at one end, Jalen Johnson, he's the guy, and then you got the young guy coming in. So I think that'll be good for him too, man. Those are 2 good picks, bro. 2 good picks for sure.
Appreciate that. I put some thought into that one because there was players that my mind went to because my mind went to two completely different players at first, and I was like, no, man, let me think a little bit deeper on this. And once I did, I was like, hey, man, yeah, I like the way
that's spectacular,
where I went with that. But for those that are watching, let us know down below, guys, who are some former Bears players you would like to see come in, add some mentorship to this young team as we get ready to gear up towards training camp, start a preseason, things like that. We're like 82 days away from the start of the season at this point.
It's
bro.
coming,
it's still
baby.
a long time, but yeah, it's coming.
It's
still a long time though, fam. It's
wait.
wild how long we still have the season, man. I can't
wait, man.
Can't wait, man. But that's it, Bobby. You got anything left, brother?
Hey, yesterday was Juneteenth, and they nationally recognized today. If y'all know somebody, just show some love, show some respect. This is a family show. Even look, we argue with each other. We don't like sometimes somebody's opinion, but at the end of the day, it's all love. So show love to your people out there. You feel me? That's it. And then, hey, y'all get on Facebook. Shy Bear Central. We got a Facebook group. We be throwing stuff out there. We want to engage with y'all. See, talk some mess about the Packers. Talk stuff about the Vikings and Detroit Lions. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Just have some fun. So going over to Facebook, go ahead and join the group. Anybody can get in. Just be respectful. That's all we ask. You know what I'm saying? Be respectful. We can, if you're gonna disagree, but don't go in there doing too much. We disagree, but we disagree respectfully. Okay, we do not want to bring Petty come in the group.
Yes, we don't want that. We don't want that, man. We don't want that. I already had to get on Louis Riddick, bro. But
for real, that's all I got, man. Though, man. Y'all know what to do.
Yeah, definitely. Make sure you're following the show at Shy Bear Central on every social media platform we're on. You can also send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, ChicagoBearCentral@gmail.com. And lastly, if you want to leave us a text and or voicemail, the number to do so is 773-270-2799. That is it for us for today. Bear down, people. We love you guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.